See what's going on here. I'm just going to do this a few places. Here we see. I'll be right with you. I have a little bit of time, so I figured I'd come on here. Has anything happened? Has anything been happening this week in the world of Final Cut Pro? I have not been home. I'm flying back home now, so. Yes, I know Buddy says from our friend from the X platform, surprise live feed. Yeah, I have about an hour, 1 hour before I have to board my plane, so I figured I'd come on and do a live stream. So I haven't been that much in touch this week. I don't think there's anything going on in the world of Final Cut Pro this week, but if there is, let me know. I'm just on my MacBook Pro in the airport, and I'm using the MacBook Pro's microphone, so it's probably sound okay. Let's just see what else. I'll post this on DaVinci Resolve for Final Cut Pro website. It's a new website that I have. iPad video editing with Final Cut Pro. I just posted it on there. Of course, it's on the YouTube channel. I'm not putting it everywhere. I'm just bored sitting in the airport, not doing much. But we'll be back tomorrow morning. We had over 1,200 views from last week's Final Cut TV and coffee on Saturday morning. So I'm planning on doing that tomorrow. Although I'm not sure. I think I have to do it at 12. I'll have to see. Either 10 or 12 tomorrow morning we'll be back at Final Cut TV Live. Anything going on? You tell me if anything's going on in the world of Final Cut Pro. You have to tell me. I've got to turn that on, don't I? Let's see. Where do I turn that on? I don't even know if I can turn that on. I'm not home, so I don't have my buttons to do the thumbs up. Yeah, a little surprise live feed. Other than that, I hope you all have been keeping things even keeled. So one of the big things that happened when I was away was DaVinci Resolve Beta 20 number 2, the second beta for DaVinci Resolve 20 came out, and it fixed that irritating subtitle issue when you animated the subtitles, like CapCut style video cap titles, which is built into the studio version of Beta 22, second beta. They fixed the issue where you couldn't, once you did the animation, you couldn't change the text. It wouldn't change in the inspector. It wouldn't change in the timeline viewer, I should say. You could change it in the inspector, but it wouldn't update. They supposedly fixed that. That was the biggest thing that was happening to me. We got a bunch of new members yesterday at the DaVinci Resolve for Final Cut Pro editors page. So what that page is, that's not to convert you from Final Cut to DaVinci Resolve. What that is if you're a Final Cut Pro editor and also want to learn DaVinci Resolve, that's what that page really is for. There are dozens of really good, pure DaVinci Resolve YouTube channels, articles. Blackmagic has some of the best documentation of all the NLEs. It's superior to everybody else's. It's it's updated. So if you just want pure DaVinci Resolve, go to one of the other channels and you have all the information that you would like. This page, Resolve for Final Cut Pro, Resolve for the number 4 FCP, DaVinci Resolve for Final Cut Pro editors. It's for existing Final Cut Pro editors that want to learn how to do things in DaVinci Resolve, either as a second NLE, which is it is in my case, because I need to learn how to do things in DaVinci Resolve, being a Final Cut Pro editor. So that's what that page is about. It's not trying to convert anybody. People ask me if I'm switching. No, I'm not switching. Final Cut Pro is my main NLE. DaVinci Resolve is number 2. Although, like right now, DaVinci Resolve is where I would go for text-based editing. Final Cut Pro doesn't have text-based editing. Text-based editing without getting a third-party plugin. Our friend Philip and Greg have Lumberjack systems, and they've had it since 2017. Text-based editing, which is superior. So if I need to do text-based editing, that's one of the things I don't have of theirs. I have all their other stuff just about. I go to DaVinci Resolve, put an hour-long video in, transcribe audio, it transcribes everything. All the text document is, when you click on a section of text, it highlights the same portion of the video clip. Hello from Jamaica. Hello, Alista. How are you doing? Hoping text-based editing will come by the Creative Cloud Summit. Yeah, that would be cool. The Final Cut Pro Creative Summit in probably in November, which is where it's been for the month it's been for like the last few years. So I would think that that's a very good possibility. Text-based editing will arrive. More sophisticated audio transcriptions will arrive. CapCut style subtitles will arrive. But also maybe an audio mixer. These are big ticket items I'm talking about. There's dozens and dozens of small ticket items that we could use in Final Cut Pro. But for the big ticket items, those are the two. Text-based editing, and have them release the audio rolls mixer that they already have. They already have one. Nobody says, I found a problem with custom titles fade outs not fading out if the fade in is turned off. So don't they have, normally a plugin will have both in and out animations. They don't have in and out, just have one, or just the out's not working. If you disable the in, it sounds like the out is not working, the fade out. That's a drag. You have to report to the Final Cut Pro team. I was kind of surprised that they haven't had any bug fix update at this point. I'm a little bit surprised about that, because some of the bugs that I'm seeing in 11.1 on 11.1 are kind of quite aggravating, to say the least. They're quite aggravating. Here's our friend Matthew Pate. Hey Richard, how are you doing? How are you doing? So other than that, there's not a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm down in Florida, getting ready to head back to the East Coast, further up north, where I live outside of D.C. and Baltimore. I've been down here for like a week, all week, and it's been very, very pleasant. The airport is very, very quiet right now. Let me see if I can get my phone. How does that work, the phone connectivity? Let me see if I can add my phone. Camera. God, Richard, iPhone camera. Let's try it. Let's see if I can add that. There we go. Here. That's pretty cool. Pretty seamless. Pretty darn seamless. I like it. That was pretty easy to do. Pretty easy to do. Now let me see. How do I get back to my other camera? Camera. FaceTime. Oh, not that one. No, not that one. Switch before I had a chance to do it. There we go. That's pretty cool. So I have the iPhone camera and the MacBook Pro camera. So Matthew says, when do you anticipate the next major update? Well, you know, it would be a surprise to me if they waited till all the way till November for the next major feature update, because they know that people get frustrated with all these forever. I mean, they take forever to get features. They did 11 back in November. 5 months later, they gave us 11.1 with some features right before NAB, which we talked about on the show. So that's pretty cool. But if they wait from, I don't think they're going to wait from 11.1 all the way to November to give us features. That seems like a long time, and it really slows down the development of Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro team, because they listen to these shows, listen to your customers. Don't say, oh, no, we know the best, and we're only going to do what we want to do. Get some input from all of the editors that use Final Cut Pro. Give us updates. You could certainly give us a few more feature updates between now and if they give us 11.2 in November. There's plenty of room to do 11.1. Whatever. There's plenty of room in between here to give us some more features. Don't be giving us features like every 6 months and only 4 at that. That's not enough. You're really, in comparison to DaVinci Resolve, there's no comparison. DaVinci Resolve is light years ahead of feature development and stuff of any LA, not just Final Cut. Looks like a big wide airplane. Well, it is an airport. So let's go back to Matthew's question. When do you anticipate the next major update? Well, the next major update will probably be November. 11.2 or whatever the heck numbers. The number systems are thrown out the window. They don't mean anything anymore like they used to. They just do what they want. We're going to put this here, put this here. There's no rhyme or reason in what numbering system that they use. So whatever it's called, I'm sure there's going to be a big update. I'm not sure because they haven't announced it yet, but if there's going to be a Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, they will have a big feature update at the Creative Summit. But between now and then, 6 months, 7 months from now, 8 months, whatever it is, I'm hoping they slip in some more features. Of course they're going to have a bug fix, 11.1.1. That'll be coming out anytime. I'm kind of surprised it didn't come out already. Nice how it's crossfaded when switching cameras. Yeah, that's a new feature of Ecamm Live. Yep. It's a new transition you can choose. The new Meta Edits app has been getting daily updates. Unfortunately, it's only vertical at the moment. I don't mind doing some vertical content, maybe 5 or 10%. That's fine because I've got some vertical content that's got 10,000 views or 7,000 views, and it really wasn't much to it. I'm not sure why. I am going to do, when I get home, some serious tutorials about this new microphone that I have. I really like it a lot. I think there's something around WWDC. They never released an update to Final Cut Pro around WWDC. Never. Not one time have they released an update to Final Cut Pro at WWDC. Now, they released an update after WWDC, but not during WWDC. And they also have announced a future update to Final Cut Pro is coming in the fall at WWDC, but they've never released a feature updated version of Final Cut Pro at WWDC. So, could they do it this time? Sure. Yes, they could. I've sold Final Cut regardless, but wouldn't mind some more updates. Absolutely. Feature updates. We don't need bug fix updates. Well, we do. Cool place to do a live stream, but brother, wipe that lens. Is that what it is, or is just the haze coming from the sunlight? I don't think it's the lens. Let me try. Maybe it is. I think it's this. See, it's not the lens. It's the glare from the windows, because I just moved the thing and it's no longer there. It's not. It's just the reflection from the windows that's causing that stuff. I'll do a little bit of an angle here. Go this way. Does that help? We know they have a roadmap, but don't know where we are going. Are we there yet? That's exactly correct. We talked about that. I brought it up at the last one. I said, well, you had a roadmap for 10 when it came out. Is there a similar roadmap for 11? And I said, or is it going to be Final Cut Pro 12 in 6 months? And they said, no, we can't talk about future development. That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. But anyway. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. How do I get thumbs up on this thing? Let me do one thing here. Well, I got plenty of time. I got another half hour before I have to board the plane. Let me just do this. I got the wrong glasses on. I got the distance glasses. Things are a little blurry. Let me put these on. Yeah, it looks better. I mean, for me, it looks better. I'm not saying it looks better for you. It's the same. Let me just check on one other thing. I'm propped up on top of my laptop case, on top of my suitcase. So I took a bunch of, as usual, I took a bunch of cameras and tripod, monopods and stuff that I never used. And it's like, I like to get the exact amount of things. I'd like to get the exact amount of things. Let me just see if I can find something here that I'm looking for. Clean my glasses off with. Cleaning cloth, in other words. Let me see if it's in here. I got some. Nope, don't see it in there. It's got to be here somewhere. In one of these ridiculous pockets. But anyway, I'm going to be doing, when I get back, I'll be doing some Final Cut tutorials. There's I got one right there. I got exactly what I want. I'll be doing some Final Cut for DaVinci Resolve for Final Cut Pro editors tutorials, because I need to learn myself. Now, when I get back, I'm taking a class, taking a DaVinci Resolve class online from Blackmagic. They have a sophisticated class coming up. Let me just wipe these real quick. I got these really nice Crucial Crizal lens cleaning cloths. I got a bunch of them. They're real nice. They're like probably my favorite. And I'll do the lens, but I don't think that's the issue. That did help. That did help some. So the glare was hitting the lens funny. I don't know. Anyway, now we're much clearer. Look at that. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Is it the humidity? You mean the... No, you were right. You were right. It was... I just did the thing and it came clearer. Ecamm is great software. Ecamm is phenomenal software. One of the things that Ecamm can do is multicam on a Mac. So don't let the Final Cut Pro team tell you that, oh no, multicam's only for the iPad version of Final Cut. BS. BS. Complete and utter BS. There's my multicam. Right there. This is my iPhone 16, and I have my MacBook Pro, with people coming off the plane, as the other multicam, and I'm doing it on the Macintosh. Okay, I'm doing it on the Macintosh. You absolutely can do multicam live switching on the Mac. Why they don't have it? Right now it's just iPad, Final Cut for iPad only. I saw SanDisk has an 8 terabyte SSD. It's the largest I've seen. So it depends on how fast it is. It depends on whether it's Thunderbolt 4 or 5, USB, depending on whether it's 4 or 5 or USB 3 speeds. I don't want a larger hard drive. I got plenty of 8 terabyte drives that I can back up to. I want something that's fast. I have two 4 terabyte Crucial X9s, X9 Pros that I have. They're really, really cool, very small. Legit question, if I already have Final Cut Pro for the iPad Air, is there any reason to even think about using Adobe Rush? I don't use Adobe Rush, so I can't answer that. I think they're both subscriptions, right? The Final Cut it's $5 a month. I don't know what Adobe charges for their software, but I know it's a lot harder to get in and out of. I've heard horror stories. Love Ecamm. Started out using it for our YouTube channel. Works great. I've been using Ecamm for 6, 7, 8 years. I've been using Ecamm since before they had the streaming portion. They used to be just you had to get the keys and you punch the keys in, and before they had their subscription years ago. So I'm a legacy user of Ecamm for a long time, and I've been touting it for years. Let me keep track of the time. I got time. But I'm just curious, so DaVinci Resolve came out with Beta 20 at NAB in the beginning of April, and then they came out with Beta 2 and a couple weeks later, the new update that fixed a lot of bugs. And Final Cut Pro came out with 11.1 at the end of March, right before NAB, which was appreciated. It's appreciated. It's just, I don't know. You need to do more. You need to give us more features. I don't expect Final Cut or any NLE to get feature parity with DaVinci Resolve. They are so far ahead of everybody else. Nobody is going to be able to catch up with them. Feature parity I'm talking about. And nobody's going to catch up with them the way they've incorporated all their apps into one app with different tabs. So you launch DaVinci Resolve, you got Fusion, you have Fairlight, you have the color page, you have 2 different edit pages, you have the import page, you have the export page, all in one app. All in one app, and they do a great job with that portion. So I've been saying it for years. I like DaVinci Resolve a lot. That's why I started Resolve for Final Cut Pro Facebook group, so I can learn how to do things in Resolve that I know how to do in Final Cut. Now, so far, one of the things that I miss in Resolve that Final Cut has is the ability to save a effect preset. I don't think you can do that in Resolve natively yet, and I use that quite a bit. So I use that quite a bit. Yeah, we got like 30, 40 people tuning in live at this impromptu one. We'll be back tomorrow morning I'm not sure if it's going to be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. You have to tune in, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll do our usual Final Cut TV and coffee. See if there's anything going on with Final Cut. There's nothing going to happen today, I doubt it. I don't know when the last time I don't think they've ever done an update on a Friday.
I know, it was your subject, Jordy, it wasn't you.
If cutting was similar to Final Cut, I would use Resolve more. The secondary playhead is unmatched. In Resolve, the secondary playhead? Are you talking about, there's no secondary playhead in Final Cut? Well, no, you're talking about the skimmer. The skimmer, the live skimmer in Final Cut is unmatched. Nobody does. This is one of the things people say it's faster to edit. The live skimmer in Final Cut is by far better than anybody else's. It's really good. That's one of the things. Magnetic timeline, I sometimes disable that depending on what I'm doing. So I like it sometimes. I don't like it all the times. I like the way that LumaFusion incorporated it. They have an enhanced magnetic timeline, and that's exactly what they call it, an enhanced magnetic timeline. And you can have a magnetic timeline as the main timeline, but you can lock other tracks above the main timeline. You can lock them or unlock them. They can go with the magnetic timeline or they can stay in position. That's what I like to see Final Cut have. I don't need the magnetic timeline on everything that's above all the time. Sometimes yes, not all the time. Give us the ability to unlock that. To lock those tracks like LumaFusion has. I would like that a lot. So the weather, we're finally getting some spring weather around the East Coast, good old East Coast of the USA. I'm looking forward to WWDC, see what they come out with. I would be surprised if there's any Final Cut Pro specific news, maybe about a future version of Final Cut. They've done that when 2019, when they did the Mac Pro, they said a future version of Final Cut, or a Final Cut that's coming out later this year, but they didn't release it. They didn't release it at WWDC. There we go. I had something in my throat. I had a little bit of some kind of an allergic reaction. Not allergic reaction, but a pollen reaction or something from stuff down in Florida. Just getting over that a little bit. There we go. So you think getting Grant Petty on his show on Saturday? No, I don't see why that would he come on Final Cut TV and coffee. But I would do another show specifically just dedicated to Blackmagic or Da Vinci or him. So I wouldn't do. There's no sense in him coming on Final Cut TV and coffee. That wouldn't make sense. We talk about other things. I interviewed Grant Petty at last year's NAB for like 6-7 minutes, and that's up on my YouTube channel. You can go over there and subscribe. Search for Grant Petty. He's over there from NAB 2024. I'm glad I didn't go to NAB 2025. It just there's nothing really that was that exciting for me to go. Just the idea to go across the United States just to meet people. I can do that anywhere. I can meet people in Washington. I can meet people in Boston. I can go to New York and meet people. I'm not going to fly over to Vegas or anywhere else just to meet people. That's not a good enough reason. It's got to be some Final Cut Pro buzz happening, Final Cut Pro events, Super Meet. If they had a Super Meet, I'd go. A big Super Meet. They had them done that for years. No more Faster Together stages. So I'm not going there for generic walking around talking to vendors. That's not what I'm interested in doing. Got to be more to it than that, something Final Cut Pro. We'll see what happens next year. So I'm just using the MacBook Pro microphone. I think it sounds okay. I'm close enough to it. I am going to do some tutorials. Like I said, I got this new microphone that I'm really ecstatic about for live streaming and for recording. And I'm going to do some tutorials, short tutorials, 3-minute, 4-minute tutorials about my experiences with that. That will be very, very cool. And I'll do that when I get back. Saturday, it's cool. We're kind of busy on Saturday. We got Final Cut TV and coffee. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do it 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I got some other things that I have to do on Saturday, live streaming stuff. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do them before Final Cut TV or after Final Cut. I might do Final Cut at 12 and go do this live streaming thing at 9 o'clock. Apple's a $3 trillion company. Surely they could invest more in Final Cut Pro development. I can't help but wonder what the business model is. That said, I've been using Final Cut since release in 2011. So Final Cut is this big to Apple. Final Cut is this big to Apple. This is everything to Apple. The iPhones, the iPads, the Mac Minis, Apple Watches, cloud services. This Final Cut is this big as far as, I would have to say, as far as importance and as far as what they're going to spend on development of it. So Final Cut's kind of, it does sell Macs, it does sell them and stuff, does sell phones and stuff, but I don't know if it's a resource problem. I don't know what the issue, why they're slower than everybody else. They're just taking the turtle approach instead of the hare and the rabbit. I mean, the hare and the tortoise, they're taking the tortoise approach. Everybody else is, is that good or bad? It's up to you. Don't expect Final Cut to catch up. It's not going to catch up. Final Cut's on their own path. Whatever the finish line is, I don't even know. But they're not going to catch up to DaVinci Resolve. That's not what they intend to do. They'll keep adding they'll keep adding their features. Now, let me just say one thing. I'll give you a perfect example. For years, we've been using adjustment layers, titles that are blank titles. They came out with an adjustment clip, which is better than the adjustment titles we've been using. It's better. So that's an example of them doing things their way and coming out with something better than that exists. Have to see how that goes and how that continues. But we do want to give the Final Cut Pro team our appreciation for doing what they've done. I'm really liking Final Cut Pro 11 and 11.1. I'm really, really liking it. So it keeps me interested. Let's see, we're almost in May. Usually in May, I can say something about the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Usually in May. Usually I can. Not specific dates and stuff. I can just say, yes, it's going to happen. Yes, it'll probably be back in November like it's always been. Yes, we should be able to go to the spaceship campus and all that kind of stuff. So last year it was May that I could say some things. I won't say anything specific until Future Media Conferences does, but that's a big deal. That's my favorite event, especially since I didn't go to NAB this year. Do you think we will get the title captions added this year? You mean like the CapCut style? I think that's a very good possibility. It can't be that difficult. DaVinci Resolve has it, but then I said that about text-based editing 3 years ago. I said Adobe has it, DaVinci Resolve has it, Avid has whatever the heck they have, and Final Cut doesn't have it. Well, they still don't have it. So it's been years. It's just the way it is. It's they're going to do things on their schedule, but that doesn't mean you don't give them feedback and let them know. Meta Edits has it. Yeah, I'm not really interested in these little apps like CapCut, Meta Edits. If you just do CapCut videos, it's fine. I want a full-fledged professional NLE. Full-fledged and professional. The fact that these smaller NLEs are more lightweight and they can use these splashy CapCut style titles and stuff, that doesn't interest me in being my major NLE. That's just a little sidecar. got to actually work on a video. Safe flight. Thank you very much. I'll be boarding shortly. And the way down here, it was supposed to be a 2-hour and 25-minute flight. It was only an hour and 49 minutes. We got in over 30 minutes early, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Edits can do masking like with Final Cut Pro came out with. It's very cool. It's called cutout. No, I understand they're picking and choosing some features. I just want a full-fledged NLE. I don't want. I like Final Cut. Will I use a smaller cap? Yeah, sure. I use LumaFusion, for example, on my iPad and iPhone. I love it that you can edit on a video on an iPhone. Shoot on the iPhone. In LumaFusion, no more money, no subscription. You can edit the video on the iPhone. Never has to leave the iPhone. That's a giant, giant bonus for me. I use Motion VFX captions, but it's very limited. I prefer captions built in like Resolve. Resolve has text-based editing that you can turn into into subtitles, and now they've added CapCut style videos. You can limit the character length. I bring mine down to 12 or 14, so it's short, quick things. Now, I'm not going to do that for an hour-long video, but for like a 2 or 3 minute video, sure. I'll splash some of those titles on there. I'm going to do it in Resolve right now. Now, there's a solution coming out for Final Cut between our friend Brett FX and our friend Philip and Greg over there at Lumberjack Systems. With those two plugins and Final Cut's ability to transcribe audio, you will be able to do CapCut style captions inside of Final Cut. That's forthcoming. That is forthcoming. I'm pretty excited about that because maybe I won't go to DaVinci Resolve that often. Maybe I'll just stay inside of Final Cut, which is what I'd like to do. But still, text-based editing is a big deal when I'm working on an hour long. Like, for example, when Apple does their keynote videos, download them, bring them into DaVinci Resolve, transcribe audio. I can go through and search for keywords. If they mention Final Cut Pro, I can search Final Cut Pro. It'll go right to that section of the text and right to that section of the video, and I can just search for things that I want to search for and then add them to a master timeline or whatever. Alrighty, I guess I'm going to get out of here, and then we'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. 8 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Eastern. We'll come back for our normal Final Cut TV and coffee. Absolutely. Thanks everybody for tuning in on this little pop-up. We've been on for 38 minutes, which is longer than I expected. I'm going to wrap up some things and then get ready for boarding the airplane. I should be back home early this afternoon, mid-afternoon. Gary says safe travels. Absolutely, I appreciate it. Everybody, all you listeners and viewers out there, thanks. Let's keep building this up, this community up. It's going to be friendly. It's going to be professional. Just keep building it up, telling your Final Cut Pro fans, hey, come on over there and chat. We get to chat. We know the Final Cut Pro team watches this, so when you come here and chat, you're sending a message directly to them. Here's my friend Luke. Luke, are you going to the summit this year? I know it's expensive for you. Hope you do. I met Luke and his son last year at the summit. That summit is the best Final Cut Pro event in the world. It's really, really cool. Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to get ready to go on my flight, and I'll be home shortly. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody.